Great and beautiful afternoon, morning, and evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this hour. Welcome to 218th edition of Investdata Trading Academy Live with Ambrose. I would say that following the missed market yesterday, you can see that the market this morning is already on a mixed sentiment. I think that markets are looking down on the strength of geopolitical political tension weighing on what on investor sentiment as focus shift toward the business activities. I mean, purchasing management index of these nations. Actually, I'll tell you that the global economy or the global climate is looking at the impact of of Russia and Ukraine war in the last 1 year. But I'll tell you, you saw the surprise visit of U.S. President to Ukraine yesterday, and also this morning we're looking at how most of the economy around the globe are fared within this period of geopolitical tension, and also in the midst of the geometric high rate of aggressive high rate we saw from the central bank of the world, especially the major central banks from US, UK, Asia market, and around the globe. We saw what's happening in Japan, in China. All this how has it played out in global economy. Also, we saw the kind of volatility in the oil space that drove this inflation to this level because of distortion around the globe in terms of food chain and supply chain, gas and all. But how has the market fared in this period, or the economic of different climate fare in this period? Now, at this hour, I want to look at the what we call a potential manager of this. Let me show a few of them in this class. They will now come back and look at how also have our own market fare in this period. What is the implication of our economic performance in this period in terms of looking at our potential manager index for the past also 1 year, from February last year to what we saw in the month of January this year, because I'm not seeing the figure for February until towards the end of the month. Then we want to see how give you direction as an investor. Already you know that in this market, wherever you are, we have two major asset class that investors are looking at: the bond market, or they call it the fixed income market, and also the equity market. And don't forget that at any market, what we call circular flow of funds from the money market to what to the capital market, looking for what where there is higher return with less risk. And these are what the investor want to look at. And for those that I think calculated the risk in investing in equity, asset, or investing in in stocks. They take calculated risk and they look at some major factors, and that factor is what we want to discuss today, so that you and I, as an investor or trader, all will guide us at this season. Really, knowing that in our own market here, we're seeing that this is the peak of our earnings season, and this earnings says that companies are, the time they reward shareholders for having faith in them. While in mature market, we have seen also how their earnings in that period, in that market, also in that domain, has also influenced investors' sentiment. And that is what we want to look at. I tell you always that we as traders, instead of you trading news, you trade your chart. Because whatever the news is saying, to reflect on your chart, because of the psychology and the attitude of those that are reacting to that news, it will show. And that is why you as a trader, you don't need to panic in the market when you are investing with knowledge and with information. And that is why this platform is here to carry you along to see what is happening on a daily basis in the market, and how is the investors or players in the market, or traders in the market reacting to this news, and also what are they expecting, how are they factoring their expectation into what the price of stocks, and what to do next, you as a trader or investor. And that's why today I would say following a Monday mistrend or a down position, so that this morning we're seeing a lot of cautious trading across the globe as a result of what I mentioned earlier, that the political tension weighing on investors what sentiment. And this also continue this morning. You can see that stocks or the market in US, the three indices are in red as I speak now. Why in Europe we're seeing also the same thing, because all eyes on what on this purchasing power index, purchasing manager index we have seen for this period. But we want to look at how this is also playing out at this hour, knowing that we are seeing a mistrend in Asia market, because the kind of injection of fund or stimulus into the economy of China has also changed that market performance, as turn it green yesterday. I was told that this also is going to affect the oil space, because they are the largest buyer or user of crude oil. For that, if they are injecting funds into US market, it has the way also playing apart from what, because the more their business is increasing, the more they are demanding for what, for oil. That's why even this year, the focus from different analysts or different banks or investment banking or companies that oil is likely to hit $100 here. Yes, we can't rule it out. It's possible because if Russia saying by March, we're going to cut 500 500,000 per daily in terms of their crude oil production. That has also this morning also saying that Iraq also has also said by March also they're going to increase the price of what, the price of oil to their war to their Asia customers. You can see these are the things that are going to also drive that. And don't forget that when oil prices are moving up and also inflation is also on that direction, because if oil prices are moving up, that means the direction of policy rates tightening this year, we're not getting a clear direction until we see all these oscillations or drivers of this oil price up and down become clearer. Wise work and see that the central bank afterwards to kind of start easing. But now tightening is still on most because the last inflation figure we saw from different this domain or this climate is still on the uptick. That tells you that for the next Fed meeting, we're all looking at to see what a rate hike either back to 50 basic points or also they leave it at 25. But for that of the European zone, knowing that Germany is the strongest economy in that zone, and Germany we can see that yes, their purchasing manager for this one will also each up to about 51.6 against 49%. That's a little improvement in that direction. You can see that these are what's going to drive the whole market, also sentiment of people around the globe as we speak now. But for you as an investor and I, don't need to panic because of speaking now today, oil price are pulled back again to trade around 82.57 dollar as we speak now per barrel. You can see how it's going to drive. But if it comes below $80, that is the good news. I mean that you can see inflation trying to temper. Once it also move higher then even above 90 to 100, you can see the impact of this. But I want to quickly look at the global business activities around in few countries. I will tell you that for US, when we say global business activities, it's being measured by this opportunity manager index. And we said that when you see the opportunity manager index of a nation, an economy above 50, it stands for what? Expansion. But when you see it below less than 50, it's also a sign of what? Contraction. You need to understand this. And I said earlier that there are only two major assets that investors want to look at. And what are the things? These are bond and equity. And in any contraction, there are three major factors that drive contraction and expansion, which is what? Interest rate, inflation, and what? And productivity. Industrial productivity, either from the whole economy or we are looking at the private sector alone. But I'll tell you, these are the three major that drive what? Any cycle. Whether inflation is low, interest rate is low, you have to expect to see early expansion, before you move toward late expansion, from late expansion toward to early contraction, from early contraction, you see late contraction. These are the 5 stages of the economy, and the factor that drove this 5 stages, as I said earlier, is what? Inflation, interest rate, and what? And national activity, which is what we call business activities. If you look at US for the past 1 year, that this war broke out or conflict broke out in Russia and Ukraine, I'll tell you that in the month of February 2022, we can see that here in February 2022, that the figures here is also from 2022 February to June. So we see that US MPI, what we call purchasing manager, has remained above 50. They 52, 53, 54, 52. Then in July, that ended 49 points, and that in that day from July to what? See January has been what? In red. No, that means the contraction was seen in that economy. But that's why we're seeing a positive GDP. That's that the business activity in that domain has been what? Since the last almost 6 months from from July 2022 to what? To January, you can see on the red, price from below 50. These are the things also were also seen. Why that of UK? UK also had economic expansion from February this year started to what? To the same point of July. Why that of US was June, was for UK up to July before the economy started shrinking or started contracting. You can see from the month of August to January, we're also seeing that the UK economy has also been on open contraction below what? Below 50 because of what? Yeah, purchasing manager is below 50. That's why I say the contraction. But if you look at that of Australia also to the month of September, the economy also remained on the expansion. But from October towards January, they also experienced what contraction. You can see that what happened in Ukraine, yes, it started impacting on them, but it become fully where things, inflation rate was going up and the interest rate was going up for the central bank to checkmate inflation. That you can see that it started hitting on the economy. That's why I said the more they go into extending, interest rate higher, that is fear of a recession start coming on. But I believe that not many domain will go into recession. But if they continue also in this year, before the end of my first quarter, nothing is done, might also see that the fear of recession also will rekindle again because of what? When you are seeing extension of this contraction for months, it's a sign that where the economy is heading to. We need to also put that one at the back of our mind. Germany, that I said, okay, that is still in that eurozone. Germany also consider Germany up to till June. Germany economy was up, but consider I told you that this morning for the month of January, I see that Germany economy has come out of what contraction again to 51.6. That is good. It has been in that till June, but since July it has been on contraction. But in this February figure that came yesterday, we're seeing that Germany has moved toward into a good position. It's a good one. Then the last one, I want to look at Japan. Japan, even in that February 2022, Japan had a contraction of 49 point something, but in May till July, it was in green. That's also above 50, but also it remained, it came down again in August, in September and October. We saw that Japan was also, in green, but also slowed down for the month of November and December. Currently, as speak now in January, it also is. But don't forget that Japan has not followed the trend of the global hike we're seeing in US, in Europe and all those in Africa, and also part here in Nigeria. But Japan did not follow that direction, but rather Japan was trying to inject funds to manage its own economy, just like what China did yesterday by injecting funds into its own system to kind of pushing some effect and also encourage productivity, which I believe that on the long run has the way of also impacting on the activities of that company, which in extension also impact positively on the world on the global oil market because they are the high demand. And when there's demand, they're bound to increase in output. Or if there's no output, when there's high demand, there has to be the price going up. That's why simple demand and supply. If as the demand of China continues to increase and we're still seeing the production cost here and there, that also trigger what. But if production also improve, we might see also a stable price that also be good for all the economy across the world. This is what the global market is doing now. Like I said earlier, Asia market is in green, but middle to mix, but US and the Europe market is down. While that of Africa is also missed as we speak. Now as we speak, like that NGS here is marginally in red, just marginally red as we speak. But I believe that before the end of today trade, you might see the market picking up again. We saw what happened yesterday in our own market here that after the market have pulled back with almost 1.31 on Friday, we saw a rebound of about 0.8 or 0.878 or 8 yesterday on the strength of what those high cap stocks that investors are really taking position for what for dividend, seeing their number that yes, this company has all it takes for them to work to make money that will support their payout. I tell you, every investment again in the future, and that these are what price feed on. When say company performing well in terms of earnings, and also they are rewarding their shareholder. This is what we build. That was will revalue that company on the strength of their earning performance and also their payout. You see the price going up, and this is what investors are looking at. That's why the election is around the corner. Yes, we're going to see cautious trading this week, but on our own market here, I think that people are still taking position in the market. It tells you that people are seeing value already in the market. On that, they are taking advantage of this value in the market by knowing what they are doing. They are not just guessing. You can see that there are some some blue chip stocks that are still people are still trying to take position, and some sectors that people are still looking at because after the election, these sectors are going to enjoy some reform. Not only that, going to further boost their performance, and also as we're looking at to see a real reset in our financial market, in our economy, and also in the political space. But that Nigeria will find a new direction that will also help us to come out of the war very soon, going into the future. Because I believe that any of the presidential candidates that win at this election on Saturday, it will be a plus for the market. That's why with any season around, and also kind of a divergent or discussion between what we're seeing in the fixed income market, because I believe that that's also a plus. Because we look at the two asset class, the fixed income and the equity, seeing that the time space with the time and the price or time and what and yield and rate, I think that the space we're seeing that in the equity space, it's a shorter time for you to make good returns if you are in a good stock, especially if you are pushing for dividend. For this company, numbers have been showing insight what is likely to come from them because their earnings is strong enough for them to pay good dividend. On that, you can see that there are some sectors that investors are still carrying forward for those shares of this company because of what dividend expectation. That is what is happening now. Yes, before we go to the chart, we want to look at what is the state of the market now down here in Nigeria. We need to look at what is happening in our market as we speak now. It's very, very important so that we can guide our implementation as investor because following the trend of the market across the globe, bringing it down home, it helps you to see what is happening. But I believe that things is on this side of the world is also looking good, despite the election. That is that after the election, we might see another uptrend that will also surprise everyone because in the last article I wrote on Monday, I said the market is high now, around the world 55,000 mark. And can see how market rebounded, that yesterday. And if that trend is sustained, I'll tell you, immediately after the election, market was likely to support that 55, and that will be on the strength of all these high capital are yet to move, and also being the period that companies that are yet to release their automated account will be released by next week. Hopefully, from Friday, this week, expect seeing them. Next week after the election, the more results will come. That will also shape the market and also give market a clear direction on the short term before we start seeing the price adjustment and also profit taking again after the earnings season. And I tell you, if we get the election right, that will be a kind of add to the momentum in the market because to speak now, the momentum in the market is very, very strong. Despite the election coming closer, tells you that there are things that investors are seeing now that people outside are not seeing, but they understand the market. They are right. You as an investor, an knowledge investor, this has to trade your plan and follow your plan. If you have a plan, you must trade it. And when you trade it, I'll tell you, you'll be on the good side of the market. Most time, I know that yes, you cannot get the market 100% up, but if you are trading your plan, I will tell you, you only know when to go out to profit and when to come back, and also the kind of stock to buy. That's why you're getting knowledge how to combine your fundamental, technical, and sentiment report at any given time you are making sure. As we speak now, the Osha index is trading at 54,190.35. Market is down just 34.20, down by 0.08. Market is down marginally by 0.08 as we speak now. Then I'll tell you that is good, but not a bad situation. But I tell you, being the election period, I tell you, we expect to see cautious trading, but we're seeing market in this mode. I'll tell you that market is still very, very strong. If you look at the market breadth is slightly negative. We're having 8 losers against what? Against 11, against 7 gainers. 8 losers against 7 gainers at this point. And if you look at the top losers, these are stocks that gained yesterday or last week, profit taking at it. You can see that computer warehouse, sorry, but see the what is called consolidated hallmark insurance is pulling back again, losing 4% to do that what at 64 kobo. We see also international brewery around 450 kobo, down by 4.3. Also, Access Corp is trading around 905, down by also 1.9% down. WAPCO is trading at 2520, down by 1.2%, and the UBA trading at what at 8 okay, sorry, UBN trading at 6 naira, 6 naira 60 kobo, down by 0.4. This the top losers. But if you look at the gainer side, the His Bank is trading on that pack up by 3.3, to trade at what at 90 kobo up. Matthew Triple G again at 2 naira 23 kobo. Triple G is up. Matthew ICO Insurance up again in green. Also Fidelity back to 5 naira 17 kobo, and Cavaton also at 96 kobo as we speak now. But like I always say that you must look at the volume, because volume is what gives you direction that where the market is heading. It's very, very key that we consider volume. The decision we are taking is very, very key. If you look at volume now, then you can see what I mentioned, that the sectors that are leading, where investors are really taking position, are still increasing piling up their position in financial sector, especially the banking. We're seeing them also take position in the oil and gas sector, also in telecom. Also see them take position in the industrial goods, because I told you earlier in the tutorial that this major sector are where we see the activity expanding. That as the economy is expected to be reset, and also you need the infrastructure to drive that reset and for you to move forward. That's why I say any of the presidential candidate that's winning at this time that will win, I'll tell you how to work to do, and expect that also have the work. But that's why No, industrial sector is where to look at. Whatever is happening in Nigeria today, inflation or no inflation, interest rate up is a plus for what for the for the banking sector, and also the insurance sector, where we have seen about 200,000 hike in their premium. For me, these are sector that you're looking at. Also, don't forget that the agriculture sector is what was they're driving the economy, the GDP. You can see that that sector is also where you can see the performance of the major player in that industry. And when they release their audited account for the month of January, that should give an insight. That as an investor, know how to diversify your portfolio at this time. But for those that are a buy and sell signal that attended last week, I mentioned some stock already. Were in most of these stocks positioning. But if you want to join, also want to get stock to buy, quickly call on our number or go to our WhatsApp and ask one of my colleagues also get back to you. This is how to invest at this period. Yes, we have seen these sectors that are really here. You can see that in volume, GT code is also leading with almost 15.8 million shares, trading at 25 naira 10 kobo. You can see that this stock has remained stable since it breaks out from what the downtrend line. You can see that stock has remained up. Then Access Corp is also, as I said earlier, trading around 905, 6.2 million shares. ETI trading at 12 naira flat, 4.57 million shares. I said something on ITI. Now, if you look at the global banks today that are posting an impressive number, across the globe, I tell you, they are benefiting from the recent, aggressive rate hike across the globe, and because they operate in most of these countries, it's a benefit for them that they actually are seeing the result of. And I'll tell you that in our market here, in one of the banks that I so diversified that has branches outside the shore of almost 54, 52 countries in Africa. I will tell you that this company is an ETI and they pay $1. I think with this price we're seeing now, it become attractive. I can see that even we're seeing position volume coming back to that stock now. It's a sign that what you should do with that stock as to speak. And also, if you look at UBA trading around the 8 naira 35 kobo, 4.2 million shares, and Fidelity also 5 naira 17 kobo, trading about 3.8 million shares at this hour. Kamiga BTC, FCMB, and all of them are there that you can look at. Selling bank, I think these banks are giving you good potential that they are all it takes to pay good dividend. I think investors should pay attention on these banks because I will tell you these are strong banks. You can mention their earnings are good. The quick one, we'll not look at what the losers stock. But before we go to look, let look at the market. Market, you can see that market on its own has formed already what we call upper handle. Just because it's a daily chart, but if you quickly take it to weekly chart, you understand what I mean here. Let me quickly look at it so you can see exactly what I mean here. You can see that you can see what I mean by copper handle. You can see here down from here to here. You can see the handle here. This is for a weekly chart. The market is very, very strong, trading above the T line on a weekly chart. But on a daily chart, the good thing is that we need to note that in daily chart, market has already come to almost breaking out the T line up. I told you yesterday that the more you see the candlestick of price structure far from the T line, it always find back either to meet it and go up. And also, when it's up far from it, you want to come down. Now that we're seeing that the market coming to cross the T line almost flat now, where it is now, for me, it's a good sign. A breakout of this T line up is also a good sign that market is still very, very strong. But I'll tell you that what we're seeing here, the money flow in about 84 for the market on a daily chart is very, very good. I can see that the market is still very strong. Let's look at 1 hour chart before we go to individual stock. On a 1 hour chart, I can tell you that market is still very, very strong above the T line. For me, it's a good one for the market. You can see that money flow also need to come up. It's still relatively weak, below 50 to hit the 29 and looking down. But MACD is very, very positive there. You can see that it's becoming more bullish on a daily, on a 1 hour chart. And these are what you should consider when you are taking a position. If you are seeing MACD becoming bullish like this, almost crossing over to turn bullish, it's a sign that there is what momentum and the market will still go further high on the day, or in the week, because we are seeing on the 1 hour chart already a good signal that market is above the T line, and also MACD is already turning bullish. For me, it's a good sign. And when MACD turns bullish, I tell you that money flow will also look up that direction as well. Yes, quick one. We'll look at those stocks that are losing now. Let's look at what is happening to PSC. Let's look at what is happening to that stock now. Let's quickly look at that stock now and see what what is happening and look at Access Corp that is also pulling back. You can see that in the last 1 hour, you can see that we're seeing a kind of a pullback in the stock. Money flow is slow here. I see that MACD is becoming bearish on the stock. But let's look at 1 hour chart, a day chart. Sorry, don't look at the a day chart. You can see that the stock is trading below the T line. You can see it here. And money flow is slow, as low as what you can see below 50 and the reading 15. And MACD has confirmed what a bearish trend already for the stock. But on the strength of the earnings and also dividend expectation, this stock also likely to rebound. For those that are income investor and for those that are thinking long because of what to drive the earnings of this sector are becoming obvious and we can identify them. I will advise if you are there for medium and long term, I will save your position in this company. Let's quickly also look at the Access Corp here. This chart because of our time. Yes, Access Corp on a day chart, you can see that the stock are remain on uptrending. From if you take a trade line here, it is an uptrend as we speak now. The Ojo break down the T line marginally, but you can see that the stock is in red here. Money flow is trading 60 above 50, but looking down. And also MACD is also becoming a bit bearish here, but we want to see the number that will change the pattern. But on a daily chart, we are seeing that stock is on a sell pressure already. No profit taking on the stock. But let's look at what is happening in WAPCO. WAPCO before we call it a day. The last we're looking at, we're checking at what at WAP, FCMB or WAPCO before FCMB or GT code before we call it a day. Our time is fast spent. But look at the GT code and the GT code. Yes, you can see that on a 1 hour chart, the um, WAPCO has been below the T line for how many days now? For more than 2 weeks, you can see it now trading below on a 1 hour chart. You can see that money flow is looking down, even below 10, and MACD is also building up. You can see that it's coming up gradually. Let's ready to look at this histogram here. We're seeing that trend is changing, but until cross the signal line up to confirm a bullish trend. But let's look at the a day chart to see. On a day chart, good one. On a day chart, if the stock has formed what we call a strong candlestick formation here that to resist decline. If this is sustained, you might see a turn up, turn around or a reversal trend up from WAPCO. You can see that for the last 3 days, it has been below the T line. But once it crosses it off, fine. For money flow, for me, it's flat here around the 58, no 60. That is also good for the stock. It's a good one for the stock for WAPCO. And MACD it does give a sign of what of bearish, but if any information comes, really as the company did not release their unaudited account in January, was spread before on the 1st of March 2023, that the result of WAPCO will hit the market and that will change. On terms of their earnings, we expect a good dividend from the stock, but keep your finger crossed. Like I said, let's finally look at what is happening in FCMB and quickly also look at the GTCO before we call it a day. Yes, you can see that line in this kind of position. And yeah, last one, we look at what is happening in GT code before we call it a day. Our time is fast spent. So let's look at GT code, call it a day. Yeah, I see that GTCO now today that we are seeing that is slightly below the T line of the red position, the sell position already. Profit taking on the stock. As we speak now, the stock is looking down below the T line, below my money flow is below 50, around 49, which is what I can see that is bearish already. On the you can see the MACD here is bearish, but I tell you because of the number we're expecting, I'll be a turnaround. Let's look at 1 hour chart for the stock. The 1 hour chart is below the T line, despite trying to pull back up. Can see that the candle formation here is always coming up. Still weak, and money flow is looking up on 1 hour chart to around the 40, and MACD has not confirmed the direction, still flat here. On this note, we say thank you for your time today, and also to inform all our premium subscribers that Saturday meeting will not be because of the election. Yes, hopefully before that, they will also inform you the latest how we can also discuss. But the live class will not be holding on Saturday. But for those that are yet to take advantage of the bomber pack, that for that pack, I want stock to buy, especially income investors, they are the time for to take position. reach out to us by calling the numbers or go to our WhatsApp and drop on online. Feel free to to reach us. Yes, on this note, I say enjoy the rest of your trading day. See you tomorrow. Sorry for yesterday. We have some issue on the internet, but today I can see there is improvement here. That means the internet provider has improved on the internet. Yesterday it was something else. I say enjoy your day.